have you ever used the free DAW known as Ordor? I currently use it with Windows and love it. Dude, I didn't know you could use it on Windows. I actually, as an experiment, downloaded it on my Ubuntu machine, which is a Linux-based operating system, and I just messed with it for 5 seconds. I've gone through phases throughout my career of trying to leave Pro Tools, and every time I try, I give up, to be honest with you, just because here's the thing, and I'm gonna make a video on this. People ask me all the time, why are you using Pro Tools? It's so outdated, it's so expensive. Here's my honest opinion. Number one, I know it inside and out. I've been using it since the dawn of time. I also collaborate with other engineers, and most pro engineers use Pro Tools. I have to be compatible. I don't want to ask them to send me WAV files. It just makes more sense. Also, I have a team that works with me at the studio, and we all use Pro Tools. Now, yes, Pro Tools is expensive, but the amount of time and money I would lose switching is not worth it right now. Now, if Avid keeps increasing prices or does something to really, really aggravate me, then when the pain of keeping it becomes greater than switching, then I'll switch. But right now, the pain of switching is far greater than where I'm currently at, if that makes sense. So I've messed with Ordor, I own Logic, I own Reaper, I even owned Cubase for a while. I messed around with Studio One, and they're all great, dude. They're all great. So it really doesn't matter what you use. I will say this though, when it comes to working with real musicians in the real world, in real time, I do prefer Pro Tools. There's the way that it edits, the way that it handles grouping. I cannot wait until Reaper comes out with where you can edit on a track. I know you could group the clips. I know you could do that. I know you could group the regions or whatever, but I want track-based editing for Reaper. When they implement that, that's going to change the game for me personally. I'm still waiting on that though. So it's just my own 2 cents. Andrew says, I know you preach DAW quality, so just for kicks, what would it take for you to switch DAWs? It would take, well, all right, I'm going to be honest, I do love Pro Tools. I think in Pro Tools. Pro Tools is in my DNA at this point, for the most part. And the way my brain works, it just makes sense to me, right? I don't like that it's not stable. Like right now, this version of Pro Tools is glitchy with MIDI, which is really annoying. So that's kind of aggravating me. I just want it to work. And if they keep raising the price, I mean, it would have to get to be pretty expensive for me to switch because, again, like I said earlier during the live call, the amount of money and time I would lose by switching DAWs at this. But you gotta remember, I'm not just recording my own music. I'm recording other artists. I work with other engineers. I have templates. We record live productions, and we have headphone mixes pre-set up. And for me to do this in another DAW it would take at least 6 months to switch everything over and even begin to do that. So it's not just me involved. So they would have to start charging. Now, I own a perpetual license and I pay $200 a year, $300 a year, I think it's $300 a year, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 200, I don't remember. It would have to be like $2,000 a year. Then I would have to switch. That's my opinion. That's what it would take me to switch from Pro Tools. And if I keep having these issues, these weird bugs, now I'm not on M1 Mac yet. I'm still on Intel. I want to wait until Pro Tools is has native compatibility with M1 or M1, M2, whatever they are, the new ones. So I'm still on, actually at the studio, I'm still using my 2012 MacBook Pro that I use for tracking and even some mixing. That thing is a beast, still going strong. In my home studio here, I'm using a Mac Mini 2018 model with the Intel processor, and I have it maxed out at 64 gigs of RAM, even though you don't need a lot of RAM for a fast machine unless you're using a lot of samples and things like that. Okay, good. Thank you for your question. Now, if you're looking to improve the sound of your mixes, it's critical to have a firm grasp on solid EQ and compression techniques. And this is why I'm offering you direct access right now for absolutely free to my crisp and clear heavy mix formula. The heavy mix formula is comprised of 3 main components: an EQ and compression cheat sheet that contains all of my starting points when it's time to mix a heavy production. Within the cheat sheet, there are clickable links to private mixing tutorials for all of the main instruments within a heavy production. And finally, there's a clickable link below each of the individual tutorials so you could download the exact same multi-tracks that I'm using so you can mix along with me. Again, the crisp and clear heavy mix formula is absolutely free, and there's a link below that you can click and you can have direct access right now. And until next time, happy mixing.